Hi guys! Welcome to Music Heals Season 3, Episode 5. How are you all doing? I hope you're great. I'm just going to wait for a few people to join us, and I'm just so privileged that you guys are joining me today on this Monday evening. It's starting to get chilly now in London, isn't it? Let's see who's out there. Hi Dharmesh, thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure. Naish, what can I say? Music Heals is nothing without you, so thank you for joining, my love. And we've also got Madhuri in the house. Benji, thank you so much for joining. How are you all doing? Let me know. Do drop me a message in the comments. It'll be great to hear what you guys are up to. How have you been? How's your weekend been? And today we have a special show. We have the one and only Sanj, and I am stoked to have Sanj on. He is a pioneer in our music scene, and if you don't know why, you will find out today. So make sure that you do like this video, whether you're tuning in from YouTube or Facebook. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. If you have any questions for Sanj later on as well, do drop them in the comments. It's always great when you guys are always interacting with us. It just brings so much fun to these sessions. So thank you so much. I'm just going to see who's joined us as well. Hey Annie, thank you for joining. Lots of love to you, fam, and my whole family. I got to say hi to my dad. I know my dad's always avid, like, Rita, you got your TV show tomorrow. He reminded me yesterday, so hi dad. Hi mum and Ravi, and hi Sasuji. Big love to all of you. And I got in there before mum did. Thank you, Sasuji. And we've also got Jamie in the house. Hi, thank you for joining, Jamie. So let me just give you a background of those that don't know what Music Heals is. Hi, I am Rita Morar, and I'm a music fusion artist, and I have been hosting Music Heals since 2020, the very first lockdown. It started off as just an Instagram live, and then it's just moved into some phenomenal movement, which, you know, I'm so blessed, and I'm still doing till this day. And we are, as I mentioned, we are in season 3. And I've said this last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry, that we are actually going to move this into a podcast as well. So I'm working on it for you guys. I haven't forgotten at all. And it's just another way for you guys to enjoy it, because there's been a demand for it. So keep a lookout for that. I've got so many announcements to make this week. Where do I begin? You know, they say when music happens, or anything happens, it comes in threes, and I have actually got 3 things to share with you. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to my homie Swami Barakas, who came out with an amazing track called The Native Immigrants. Now, if you know, Swami and his beautiful wife Jojo B came on to Music Heals, and they shared how music makes them feel, and it was just amazing to have them there. And Swami is one of the most underrated rappers, MCs, artists out there in the UK, and I've always vouched for that. And he came back with a hard-hitting track called The Native Immigrants, so make sure you guys go and check that out. Big love to you, SB, always rooting for you. Also, if you follow my journey, you know that so many things have been happening. Where do I start? Okay, I'll start with the Mana Sumitra scheme. You know, like, I have been an artist since 2009 as Rita Morar, and I've put in so much graft, and I've just been knocking at doors, and they've been closing, and then they've been opening, and it's just, this is the whole beauty about music. And don't know where I'm going to go next. And, you know, being an independent artist, you just keep paving your way, and you meet so many amazing people. And I have just been lucky enough that one door, such a beautiful door, has opened for me, and I have been awarded a Mana Sumitra scheme, which is funded by the PRS Foundation. And I am going to be mentored by the one and only Supriya Nagarajan. So thank you so much, Mana Sumitra family. Huge love for you for giving me that opportunity. And then I can't wait to share with you all out there what is actually going to come of that. It's time now to put it all into gear, maybe fifth gear, and see what I can do for music. So I'll keep you guys updated with that. So thank you so much for that support. I've also got a track coming out. So if you guys have caught the season 2, you know that I had Apache Indian back in, I think it was February. And since then, we've been talking about collaborating. And in fact, he gave me this amazing opportunity to be part of a hard-hitting, shall I say, single project for the Sikh Women's Aid. Let me get some information out here for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. So Sikh Women's Aid, big love to all of you out there. They raise awareness for domestic violence out there in the Sikh community. And the work that they are doing is phenomenal. I can only just say, please go and check them out. Please go and support them. And I've just been blessed that I've been able to co-write and sing on a charity single that's actually coming out tomorrow. And it's actually going to be part of the Sikh Women's Aid Conference, which is launching tomorrow. So big love to the team. I have to give a big shout out to Apache Indian for giving me that opportunity, AIM Academy for giving me this opportunity to just flourish in my talent and just put my 2 pence into this beautiful song. John Rogers, AJ Pal, I know you're out there, AJ, so big love. And also I've got to give big love to Tina Sharma and Jet Suman for being part of the video. Without this phenomenal team, it wouldn't be what it is today. And I'm so excited to share that with you tomorrow. So do go and check them out. SikhWomen'sAid.org.uk and support them wherever you can. And also follow me on Instagram as well, where I will give you further information. Not only that, my third news for you is that I told you it comes in threes, that I've got another song coming out this Friday, and it's with this up-and-coming duo that have just brought it out the bag, and they've been doing a lot of chilled kind of music. And if you like your Buddha bar, you're going to definitely love this track. And it's called Jile Zara, and it features me. I've written the song and I've sung on it. So that's going to be out Friday, but we won't talk about that now. We'll talk about that more in the weeks to come, but just giving you a heads up that something else is out this Friday. So big love to Anoka Beats for that as well. All my announcements done, I think. So today's Rita's rendition is basically going to be a flashback from last year. So if you guys were following me last year, I had so much music. It's the most music I've ever brought out in a year. And I was able to release one track that is so close to my heart, and it's called Habibi. Now, Habibi was very special to me because not only was I part of this track, we were still in lockdown. I couldn't put a video together. So I reached out to amazing who's part of Abstract PR and was representing me. And I said, how do we do this? We can't do a video. We can't go out there. What can we do? So we got a group of ladies together, well, in their own environments, to dance to Habibi. And we were just amazed by just how it all came together. And it came out on the 27th of November, 2020. And I was going to sing it for you guys, but I thought, no, let's watch the video because we need to give credit to those ladies that danced to this and put their heart and soul into it. So I need to give a big shout out to Karina, my little baby Karina, Juhi, Farzana, Jenny, Anushka, and Nisha, and of course Sunny, for putting the video together. Let me know what you think, and if you like it, you can find it on Spotify under my profile. And if you want further information on Music Heals, just go to musicheals.info. And if you're loving the support of the movement Music Heals, please buy me a coffee. I run this all independently, so having you guys contribute will just only make the quality and Music Heals longer than it should be. So enough of me. Let's watch Habibi, why don't we? And let me know what you guys think. Habibi, Habibi, Habibi. I love it. You know, I was sitting there just dancing to it. It was just brought back so many memories. That was Habibi featuring Drifter, the one and only Drifter. Big up my G. It was such an immense track, and thank you guys for your love. And it turns 1 on the 27th of November. So thank you so much for your love for that. Now, let's get Sanj on, I think. Enough of the announcements and enough of Habibi. Let's get down to business now. So we're going to get Sanj on, Music Hills. If you guys have any questions for him or myself, do drop them in the comments. Like this video, whether you're watching YouTube or you're watching from Facebook. And hi out there if you're listening on the podcast. Thank you for joining us. All right, Sanj, I hope you're ready for me. Hi, Sanj.
Hi, you all right?
How are you? I saw you moving
Fine,
there.
Of course, got to be done.
I saw you, of course. I saw a few moves from you. Welcome to Music Hills, Sanj.
Thank you for having me. But I'm just wondering, with all your announcements you had, I should be interviewing you instead.
It just so happens that
you're the star of the moment.
I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? You know, I was like, sorry, Sanj. No, let's get back to you now. Sanj, thank you so much for coming on to Music Hills. For anybody that doesn't know who you are, and I don't know where they've been, can you give us a little bit of who you are and what you do?
I play music. That's it. No. Okay, let's... this is only an hour long, though, isn't it? We need about 5 hours.
We can go on and on.
Okay. I'm mainly known as a DJ. Most people would know me as a DJ. However, through my past up till now, I've been promoting events as well, been remixing music, also been on the radio. That's part of it, all connected with music.
That's amazing.
It's all in one action, yeah.
It's just amazing. And what you do, Sanj, is just, you're like constantly inspiring us. So guys, if you have any questions for Sanj or myself about what music means to us, do drop it in the comments. I'm sure that, they'll start coming through. And we've already got a heart from Madri Benji. Thank you so much.
Hello, Mads.
Madri. Big love. Okay, let's get into it. What does music mean to you?
Music means literally everything to me. I've grown up with music from a very early age. It's been around me. And fortunately, I've been lucky enough to actually carve a career out of it as well. 4 or 5 decades later, I'm still enjoying music. And I don't know, it's something which just touches your soul. That's what music is. But you know what? Apart from that, what I find with music is where religion divides, music connects. And that's it. We don't have to say anything more.
It's just a unified kind of language, really, isn't it? The energy and everything that you get.
Doesn't matter what genre, doesn't matter. It's there.
Most definitely. Let's see what people are saying. Dams, you're putting up something. I can't see what you're putting up, but thank you anyway. Music, guys, if you actually do put up emojis from Facebook, I think sometimes it doesn't come up. So do let me know what you're doing. You're right, Sanj. It's an energy that is second to none. And I think that the energy that we bring out in music, that brings it out in people as well, is just phenomenal. And especially what you've been doing, inspiring us with the music that you've been promoting, putting out, making us listen to. And it's just been great. And we've got DJ Vish in our house. Thank you, DJ Vish, for being here. Music is live.
Vish, all right.
I'm sure you know him.
My son-in-law.
Okay, bless you, Vish.
Got to have the family to support, isn't it?
Yeah, congratulations, Vish. Lots of love to you guys. So, Sanj, when did your music career start? And I'm going back, not even just when you became a DJ, like when you when did you discover music at a very early age? Can you remember having any memories of growing up? What was the influences that you had?
This one I want to credit my dad for, okay, because as I was growing up, he always had music on. In the house, in the car, wherever we went, he always had, music on. Even up till now, he's 80 plus, but he listens to music daily, right? And he used to listen to music, not just Bollywood music or whatever. He was listening to everything. Radio 1 at that time, whatever. So he was into different genres as well.
Yes.
And I still remember him recording. There used to be a show on LBC, I think every Saturday, right? So he used to record the Bollywood tracks, as everyone did. And you wait till you time it well, before the presenter does the outro. And so I watched him do all that. And then I started meddling around with tapes as well. So I used to record the top 40 every week on Radio 1.
I used to do that too.
Take the best songs. And over the time, you knew where the presenter is going to come up with his outro. So you try to beat that outro, make sure, yeah? And
actually,
then what
did you have one of those faders? I had a fader on mine. I think Dad's like my dad.
Oh yeah, the rotary ones.
The fader, right? So before they come in, you just sneak it in, and then
Yes. So I just knew when to pause. But then sometimes the third, because they might go over the third verse, so that might have been the best verse, yeah, or the last chorus. You wanted more of the chorus. You want the song to last a bit more. So what I did when we finally bought a double cassette player, I started playing around with that. Okay, so I'd know. So if I've recorded the top 40, but I've lost the last minute of the song, I'd loop over the second verse and chorus. So make the song last, and then from there I started chopping bits up just to make samples out of them. Those were my first mixtapes. Didn't have no turntables at that time. That's how we started doing our first tapes, and that was it. So my dad actually set me off, and then after that, it was a journey through music in the sense like I realized I want to be a DJ. But being Asian, it was like a taboo thing. Like, you took in late 70s, early 80s.
Back in the 70s, 80s, right?
Yeah, well, why don't you be a doctor and all that, right? So I sort of went up to my parents saying, I want to be a DJ. And they looked at me thinking, okay. And they didn't really put up a fight. They thought I'd lose interest, right? Or I might do it for the sake of it. Not knowing 5 decades later, I'm still here.
You're still here, banging about it.
Yeah. That's what it was. But, I got my love from radio as well, which obviously my dad passed on to me. So listening to radio presenters, like I don't think much of your audience will know them, but people like Greg Edwards, Tony Blackburn, Robbie Vincent. I used to listen to all these soul shows. And that was it. That was my first love.
Oh, that's amazing. And radio, it was just totally different, wasn't it? And when you caught the song that you've been waiting for all day, cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Monday evening.
Yeah, of course. And when that song would come on, it just make your evening, it make your day. And I was exactly the same. And in fact, Sanj, about turning the fader down, whatever. I started to realize that you could also tape over tapes, like putting the sellotape over that little bit.
Yes.
So I read a lot of tapes. I'm really sorry, Dad. I didn't ask for new ones. I used to just record over like tapes that we already had.
We did that. I think we did that to our dad's tapes as well. Yes.
So you were introduced by Dad, big up uncle, like with radio and stuff, and then obviously you had the tapes. And did you buy? What was your first? Was it LP? Shall I say? We're going back time now.
I can't remember. I don't think I remember. I think it was Stevie Wonder, Key of Life or something like that. I can't actually remember. But I remember my first 12-inch I bought.
Okay, what was that?
I remember my first 12-inch and my first 7-inch. My first 12-inch was The Whispers and The Beat Goes On.
Oh, wow.
And my first 7-inch, I actually went to Woolworths, right, to go and buy... no, Hounslow, I think. It was Hounslow. And I went to buy Heart of Glass by Blondie.
No way. Oh, my God.
But they didn't have it in stock. So I had money in my pocket. I thought, I've got to spend it, right? So I bought Tragedy by Bee Gees. Well, I like the song anyway, but I prefer the Blondie track. But that wasn't available.
My first inch, I think it was single, and this is like going back in 80s. I saved up all my pennies, and I bought Bros.
I
quit,
dear.
And I bought it for Asda. So I totally. But there was something about playing vinyls, like. How did you feel like playing vinyls? I mean, we're going back like decades now, Sanj. You've been that pioneer and you were DJing and that. So then let's go back. So how did you then build up your collection? You told mum and dad that you wanted to be in music. Did you actually say you want to be a DJ?
Yep. Yes. It was simple as that.
How did it go from there then?
Well, from there it was like any pocket money, lunch money for school and all that. I would just save that money up and start buying 12 inches. That's it. Just buy records, building up that record collection. So that was good. That started helping me out where I want to go. But that wasn't enough because I couldn't afford to buy all the 12 inches I want. Yeah. So I got great help from who was my mentor at the time. Was a guy called Pete Anderson. He used to be in a road show called Nitro Express, and we used to have a lot of family parties. They used to be our family DJs. So I started chatting to them, got friendly with them, etc., saying I want to be a DJ. So they took me on as a roadie. So I started off. I still remember the first time they took me out. They said, "Can you just change this plug?" It took me half an hour to change a plug. Right?
Why?
I wasn't cut out to be that. I wanted to be the DJ, not that. Don't do the labor stuff.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy, Pete. He was set us up, and every time he'd go on holiday to Greece, every year, 2 weeks, I think, with his family, we'd borrow his decks and his records.
Wow.
So me and my brother Amit.
That's a lot of trust. That's a lot of trust.
Yes, he did trust us. Yeah, so we used to have it. Well, I don't know. Maybe we were looking after him, storage, security. So we were looking after
enough.
him. Look at it that way.
It's only fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we used to just mess around with vinyl all the time, and that's where we learned all this stuff. And then Pete was, like I said, the mentor. We did all our early gigs with Pete Anderson, and then he also became part of the crew of Xzecutive at the early point.
Let's talk about Xzecutive. This is so exciting. Xzecutive, let's talk about. So when I was growing up, so the reason why I mentioned Hazel, I've sort of spoken to Sanj about this, and Mads even knows, Benji, you know this. We were talking about this the other day, actually, that, I was in the 80s, I was at school, and we used to go past in Hayes and that, and then, we used to know that you guys were around there, Xzecutive there, and we were like, we never met you guys, but we were just so starstruck the fact that you were in our area. We're like, oh, Hayes massive, we've got someone special around here. And it was just amazing to know that. And just knowing that, Saj, even though I'd never met you, I'd never been to any of your gigs because my dad was strict. And Dad knows that. I never went to any daytimers. I know we're going to talk about that.
Oh, you missed out on that.
I never got the chance because I was just so scared to go. But, just the fact that you guys came out. And that's how did you and Amit bring up the suggestion of like, daytimers and Xzecutive, how did that all start then?
Well, okay, starting with Xzecutive, I mean, that name wasn't my first actual roadshow name ever. It started off with some silly names in the early 80s. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, we can all have a laugh. The first ever name I had was Snazzamataz. It was the early 80s. Could get away with that sort of stuff.
Jazzmatazz and all that, right?
And then after that, I based it on. Do you remember the 1001 Arabian Nights?
Yes, I do.
So I based it on 1001 Music Nights.
My God! Yeah.
Then I thought that was such a long name that didn't work. So while at college, I thought, no, I need a new name. So I made a short list of about 8-9 names. Went around to all my friends, relatives, choose. And Xzecutive was the one people liked. But then that was a normal spelling of Xzecutive.
Okay.
I don't do things normal. So no, that doesn't look right either. So let's put the X at the front. Let's confuse people. X and the Z and all that. Let's confuse people. And that was it. So that's how that happened. Yeah. And coming to the daytimers only came because the evening events were not working well. Because, in those days, like you said, your parents were strict at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we used to do an event in the evening, I would say 80% of the crowd would be guys.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, which is not a problem, but the problem is it'd end up in a gang war. It would be a fight. That was it. So this was ruining, wherever we do an event, there'll be a mass war.
Yeah.
So then it was myself and my other partners. We came up with, let's hold on. The girls are not allowed out in the evening. Let's try a daytimer. And
so you guys came out with that concept?
December 1984. I know. I think people were doing it already, but not on a commercial way.
Yes, yeah.
People were getting together in a hall in a pub or something. But it was just like friends from college would turn up and do that. But we took it on a commercial. It was the first ever ticketed one, as far as we know, December 1984, and it was in Southall. And now the ratio just changed. It's 70% women and 30% guys.
Was it at Red Rose?
No,
Pavilion? No, Pavilion
God.
wasn't there.
It was a
in the
place
80s.
called Blueberries at the top of Lady Margaret Road.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
Yes,
there
yeah,
was a place there. Gosh.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's still a bank. There's a banqueting suite. There
There's
used to be a pub
banqueting
back in
suite.
the
Yeah.
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 That's right.
Back
So
in
there
the
used to be a
day.
pub
Yeah.
back in the day, but on the side of the pub there used to be a hall, and that's
Ah.
where we DJed first. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. That's crazy. So then you took this on. Did you feel that it would be a gamble with, like taking that on because,
Yeah.
bearing in mind that, the girls that had it hard and strict parents and, even to some point, some guys that couldn't go in the evenings, like obviously because of like
Yeah.
responsibilities and everything. And did it ever cross your mind that, we're going to take a gamble now that if we take this on a larger commercial vibe?
Well, initially
How?
we felt it was a gamble, but during the process of that, I think we had sold out 80% of tickets 2 weeks before, which had never happened before.
Wow. Okay.
So we knew we're onto something already,
Yeah.
and that was it. So from there, a lot other promoters started capitalizing. I remember straight after that, it was in December, February, just literally 2 months down the road, Valentine's, Southall College, they booked me. So I was lucky I was on a win-win. I was either
Oh, yeah.
promoting or DJing at these events, right?
Oh, so you were actually then in the colleges and
Yeah, so they did a gig
oh,
down at Barbarella's, which is
yeah.
not far from there as well.
Barbarella's, yeah.
Yeah, and which is a McDonald's now. And so that was the first, the next daytime gig. And after that, so where we started off, or let's say a 200 capacity club, within a few months, that went up to 400 or 500. Then we reached out to places like Regal's in Uxbridge, which was about 800 capacity. And within a year, we were selling out shows at Hammersmith Palais, etc. That was our favorite venue. We used to normally do shows daytime.
You know what? I never
we're
went
looking
to Hammersmith Palais
Oh,
in a
no.
daytime, and I was
Music
gutted
history,
because my friends
right.
used to go all the time. Dad, it's okay, it wasn't meant to be. But that's just amazing. But how did you okay, so in the evenings, okay, you were saying about the guys, if it was just the guys coming, how did you have to then think about security? Did you have to, how was the scale back then?
Oh, yes, we had
Did you
security.
have to turn, but you must have had to turn people away and
We did,
you
yeah.
had so much
A lot of
confidence.
that used to happen, but the problem, there was a lot of gang wars. So you had all the gangs, all the various gangs potted around Southall, Willesden, Harsden, and Wembley and all that. So that used to cause a lot of issues because they used to use our events as their battlefield.
Oh my God, I never even thought of that.
It was crazy.
Wow.
It was actually crazy. You're doing the event. You got security there, but come on,
Yeah.
when there's truckloads of guys, it's just going to kick
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the daytimer sort of silenced it slightly. It was in the evening these guys were more notorious. Yeah.
That's just wow. I wouldn't have even put the two and two together, I know that there were loads of Asian crowds that used to go to daytimers and too right, because this was the growth of just how much we love the fusion of the music.
Yeah.
And let's take it there now. So the fusion of the music, how did that happen, and what influence?
The fusion
we know
again.
the influence came.
Yeah. Okay. The fusion actually happened. Like I told you, I've been growing up with a lot of different genres of music, so had that in my mind. So when we first started off DJing, it was nothing Asian because we weren't too keen. I mean, I grew up loving Bollywood music, but Punjabi music as well, but it just lacked that sort of that Western structure, the bassline structure, that sort of stuff. So we started off initially with jazz, funk, disco, electro funk, that sort of music. That was our vibe. However, when you're doing these events, people are coming up to you. Can you play some Punjabi music? Can you play this? Can you play that? So that's where we started. Hold on, there seems to be a demand for this. So let's start mixing both genres. So you're mixing a bit of hip hop or something with a LARP or something, and that's where it all started up for us. We never looked back.
Can you remember your first mix?
No,
that's quite. But did you do you just mentioned a LARP and hip hop? How do you think that was was that received well out there when you did play certain things like that?
They loved it because obviously they're now hearing a LARP track or a Hera track out of its zone. They hear the original one in their cars and wherever they are. But now they're hearing it on a club level with something else mixed in. So it was completely something new. Which, you know, I always say became the blueprint for most Asian DJs. Mix it all up.
So then your music for, like, the love for music, you know, it just stemmed and stemmed and stemmed. And how did you get into the Bollywood side of it, like with what you do now? And how you know, your influence is totally like change from one to another. And I think that's a great thing about being an artist anyway, because no one stays in one genre. If you do, you're blessed. But and if you don't as well, you're blessed, because you get to just, you know, enjoy music and the creativity of it. Like for me, that I never thought that I would be writing a lot of predominant English tracks and English lyrics, but hey, we're here and I'm enjoying it as much as I can now with, you know, dubstep and stuff. But how did you find that, you know, like, were you aware that you were constantly not changing were you catering for the crowds, or were you just like, oh, let me dabble in this, or let me try that?
Okay, so that's coming to obviously the remixes we did. So when we got signed on by Multitone, which obviously was the largest Asian company outside of India, they had a massive back collection of Bhangra music as well as Bollywood music, right? So when we got signed on, they initially signed us to do Bhangra mixes. But I also had another love. I said, okay, Bhangra mixes will do, and we're going to love doing that. However, we want to exploit that Bollywood collection you have. And that was it. So 1990, we get the chance to mix big Amitabh tracks, and that became the first ever Bollywood remix album. And that was it. So we wanted to be in both divisions, you know. But at that time, to be honest, our Bollywood remixes didn't really work here in the UK, because Bhangra was just outselling everything. Bhangra was just too massive, you know. It had reached that peak. Like now you're talking sort of early 90s. This is when the craze just got, you know, much more.
And then it turned into the garage side, you know, the Punjabi garage.
So our Bollywood mixes, they did well here, but not as well as we expected. But we were surprised they did so much better in Canada.
Oh, wow.
They just somehow just did so much better in there. And that was it. We were to and fro during the mid-90s, just DJing, you know, tours in Canada all the time.
See, I never thought that Canada would have been, like, I know now, I'm aware as an artist that there's so many, you know, artists that are coming out from Canada, as they say. And it's great to hear that it's still back then as well, that the population, you know,
it was surprising actually. I mean, even the Bhangra, I mean, our remixes, the extra hot remixes used to sell really well in Canada anyway. But then to see the Bollywood ones, the Garma Garams, which we did, that influenced a lot of remixes out there. And I can't, I'm trying to remember their names, but there was a string of series coming out from Canada and North America. They were all based on Bollywood. And the influence was our remixes, which we done, which was great.
You set the precedent for everyone. That's what it was, Sanj, you know. Vish, I still play extra hot DJ mixes at weddings. Come on, who doesn't play them? And I mean, we still like cruise with them as well.
Thank you, Vish. Thank you for doing that. And you better keep doing that.
Keep up.
Otherwise, I'll take my daughter back.
Hey, Ravika. Guys, if you have any questions for myself or Sanj, on Music Hills tonight, just put them in the comments, you know, let us know what you're thinking and stuff. It would be great to hear from you. And did any of you guys go to any daytimers now? I know you'll be giving your age away, but it's fine, you know, we're all young young at heart and stuff, and actually we're probably giving our age away, so it's all good.
It's nothing but a number.
Age is nothing but a number. So then you started doing daytime, you were doing daytimers, and then you moved on to Canada. And then you came back in, and then did you hone in just on like just the mixes as well? Then Sanj, like what happened to Xzecutive? Did it carry on or not? I'm saying it didn't fizzle out, but you know, you were just moving on to different genres and how you were being. You know,
funny, good you actually asked that, because a lot of our competitor DJs of that time, they thought they actually finished Xzecutive.
Okay.
But we actually finished Xzecutive ourselves, because myself and my brother fell out.
Oh no!
Yeah, we fell out. It was literally, I remember 1996.
Yeah.
There was lots of things going on, and we just fell out. That was the end of Xzecutive at that point. Then there was a squabble of who's going to continue with the name. My brother also had bad company at that time as well, right?
Okay.
So he wanted Xzecutive. I said, look, have it, right?
Yeah.
So he took over Xzecutive for a while, but he didn't pursue it.
Okay.
And then I just carried on. I said, okay, I'm going to take it back, and I carried on. So I continued, but the thing is, when two things or something like a duo work together, once that splits, that chemistry or the whole the vibe of what you were doing diminishes.
Yes,
so I lost faith in that. So that's where Sanj, which was always in the background, because all the extra hard mixes, we were also Xzecutive and Bad Company, we were Amit and Sanj. So my name was Sanj, but that was taking a lower profile. So now it was the time to move that upward and bring Xzecutive down. And that's what it was. So from the late 90s onwards, it's been Sanj, as you see there. Yeah.
But then that's great, because in that way, you put this mark as Xzecutive together, and I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah.
And then, but luckily enough, you had this other brand, Sanj, already there in the pipeline, and that's actually a blessing in disguise, really, if you think about it, that that you were still putting out Sanj on some of the music the mixes that you're putting out. Let alone did you know that it was going to go down that solo pathway, and I give you full credit for that, because that is that is hard to do. Sometimes I think to myself that when I first started out, I never thought Rita Morar would like be a brand. I didn't even stop to be honest, Sanj. When I first started out, a lot of people call me Reet. That's my nickname, Reet, right? And I thought, shall I do Reet? And so when I came as a solo artist, I was using Reet, but then I thought, oh no, it's personal. It's it's not something I want to use. So I started to put Rita Morar out there, and then I never thought that Rita Morar would become a brand. And it just so happens then Rita Ora came along, and then all that confusion, and the people are saying, oh, you're trying to be Rita Ora, which we're totally different artists. We just doesn't make sense.
You were there before her anyway.
Yeah, it was my marital name anyway. I've got no choice, right? So it's just so interesting, isn't it? How that even though that Xzecutive, fizzled down, that you still were able to carry on Sanj, and I commend you for that, because that's what people know you for, and you're still doing it there. So well done, congratulations.
You got to keep reinventing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Now, come on, guys. I can't see you out there. Drop some questions. It'd be great to hear what you guys are thinking of what we're talking about. I think, Sanj, we're going to do something now. I didn't actually brief you on this. I should have, but I didn't. But it's fine. Don't worry. You don't have to perform anything. So for season 3, I came up with a new. Me and Kix is actually joined. So a big love to Kix out there.
Hey,
we came up with a thing called the quick fire round, which is basically I ask my guest 2 options, and then they give their favorite option, and then they tell me why they chose that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to do 60 seconds, not 60 minutes, 60 seconds. Well, I can't be bothered to do with the seconds. So we're just going to go with the flow. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly ask you these, and then you tell me what you prefer and why. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Studio or live?
Live.
Why?
The buzz you get with the public there, you get the ecstatic feeling there. It's that. With the studio, you're there. I sometimes get bored in the studio, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not like
right. You have to do the commercials and everything. Yeah. Big love to. We love studio.
Oh no, sorry. Oh no. Oh, okay. Oh, you meant radio studio?
Oh, it could be anything. Okay.
Oh no, I thought you meant production studio.
DJ. Okay, so DJ.
Oh, so if I'm remixing an album or that, live. Still live.
It's still live.
It does take the edge. Yes.
Okay, that's great. All right, Lata G or Asha G?
Asha, without a doubt.
I know why you're gonna say.
Go on.
She's my favorite too. Because of her.
No, I do like that.
I love Lata G. I mean, you can't take that long.
Yes, and she's got. I think she's got more tracks I can play as a DJ.
That's good. Fair enough. That's good to me. 80s Bollywood or 90s Bollywood?
Can you change the question?
Eh?
None of those. Okay. Early
70s.
Early 80s. Early 80s is
Which Bollywood
fine.
do you like then?
70s.
You see, I was going to put on here 70s. I thought, oh, okay. Why
90s was naff.
Yeah.
I don't think most of your viewers will agree with that because they're more younger. So that was my worst decade. Worst decade for Bollywood music.
Oh my God. I think the noughties are the worst decade, to be honest.
And no, mid-noughties onwards, it's amazing, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got someone agreeing with you. Jamie says 70s. Yeah. I got to give it to you, Sanj.
Yes.
Okay, then. 80s Bhangra legends or 90s Bhangra mixes?
90s Bhangra mixes.
Why? Why?
Well, I've got to take the side of the DJs and remixers.
Of course you do.
No, because in the 90s they became they became a cult really, and that's set everything up where we are now as well. So yes, not denying the legends. Come on, they're massive. But then that's a live group compared to a remix. I would go for that at the end.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting 80s. We got some girls. I need
oh no,
80s,
oh no,
early 80s.
I'm lucky with the early 80s guys. Oh no, I'm gonna get backlash now.
All right, and there's a reason for why I'm asking this one: silent disco or full blast music? You understand? You know why?
I know why you're asking. I know. And that was an experience, but I think still full blast disco. Because what happened in the end? We all went full blast anyway in the silent disco.
Sorry, my camera keeps going in and out. Just ignore it for now.
I thought you were doing a filter or something.
I really don't know what it's doing today. So apologies for you guys.
That's okay, no worries.
Okay, let me come in and out. I'll be back. A moment. Oh, it's still there. Okay, not to worry. All right. Home gigs or abroad gigs?
Whoa. That's difficult. Abroad.
Abroad?
Yes.
Okay. Why? Because you get to
you get nice
travel.
Destinations.
Yeah,
Yes, you get nice
fair
destinations.
enough. I get you. All right, one more. Slow beat or fast beat?
No, don't do that to me. No. Okay. Slow beat or fast beat? As when I'm DJing or listening pleasure?
Listening. We've done lots on the DJing.
Okay, if it's listening, then it's slow beat.
Oh, you romantic, you.
No, I like the dark songs, the booky ones.
Yeah, the one where you have the whiskey in the hand and you're just listening and reminiscing. I know you. Cheers. Cheers to that. And that's your five questions done. So
okay,
you did
that wasn't
very
bad.
well. That wasn't too
I lived
bad.
through it.
Yeah, you lived through it. Mads is saying full blast music. I love it when the guys out there they start to give us their preferences. That's just amazing. Yeah, full blast.
Oh, 80s is definitely winning.
Yeah, 80s is totally winning. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today, Rita Morar, and we've got Sanj in the house, and it's great to talk to you, Sanj. If you guys are enjoying this, please like the video or like it on YouTube or Facebook, and make sure you do follow myself and follow Sanj for his amazing work. So Sanj, we're going to talk about Song of Solace now. Mm-hmm. So let me just explain what Song of Solace is. So for anyone that's joined first time, hi, I'm Rita Morar. I am a music fusion artist, and I started Music Hills back in 2020. And the only question I actually prep for and ask my guests is what is a Song of Solace? Now, Song of Solace is a song that gives you great energy, and I've always wondered what songs people would listen to if they needed something just to give them a great energy, or that it helps them heal, or it just gives them that power. Now, I've been able to put together a Spotify playlist under my profile called #MusicHeals, and under that you'll find over 70 songs, and they are a range of Bollywood to reggae to classical to even my tracks to even religious tracks. And it's so beautiful because each track has not been curated by me, or it's created obviously because of Music Hills, but it's been given to me by another human being out there, creative soul that connects with this song. So obviously I have to ask Sanj that question as well. So and like all my guests, they're like, can we have 2 or 3 tracks? And we're like, no. And in the beginning I was very lenient and I was like, okay, 2, 3 tracks, but I'm like now back down to just the one. So Sanj, how did you choose your track, and then we'll reveal which one it is?
Well, to be honest, this has been the most difficult question you've given me.
It's the only question I gave you.
a track like a solace track, something which uplifts me, etc. I got thousands, to be honest, or hundreds. I had to whittle it down.
You literally probably have them as well, right, on vinyl and cassette and CDs,
wherever. Yeah. So in the end, I went for something which I currently like. Okay, which that's why I sent to you. And as you know, it's a very darky sort of soothing, chilled out track, but it still uplifts me somehow, right? I don't know why. I've got a habit when I'm cooking, etc. I always have my music on, and that is on my current playlist, right? So every time that comes, I do not have a habit of looping things and rewind. I mean, keep this track. I'm not lying to you. My wife is so fed up of it. I'll play about 30 times.
Sorry, Vinny.
30 odd times.
Let's see which one it is. So it's Dil Jalani Ki Baat.
And I'm not even a ghazal person properly, So this one is something done to me.
It's such a beautiful track, when I didn't expect that from you. I don't actually know what I was expecting from you. And
what did you think, though? Come on, you must have had an inkling.
I actually did think that you were going to go for a 70s track. I don't know why. Something like Kishore Kumar's Zindagi Ka Safar, the slow one. And I don't know why. I thought, you'll probably chill to that and stuff. But this is just amazing.
Yeah, so I went for something current.
That's good. Yeah. I'm sorry, Vin, you have to listen.
Yeah, again.
And I bet you'll play it afterwards anyway.
I will do. You've got me in the mood for it now.
So that's Sanj's choice, Dil Jalani Ki Baat by Atif Aslam. Beautiful track. And you'll find it, guys, on my Spotify playlist. I'll put it on straight away after, so you guys can check it out. So, yeah, thank you so much for that, Sanj. How important is it, Sanj, for you to have your family's backing? I know that you are a family man. You've got beautiful children. Talented, so talented. I've even collaborated with one of your own, Sahil Nameless, and it's so beautiful to see that the music side of things has been passed down, because in fact me and Kevin, we heard one of his tracks, and that's how I fell in love with his music. And Kix, can you remember which track it is? I can't remember. It's just gone over my head. And it was the perfect remix that he did of this track. And yeah, I just literally can't remember. But how important is it for you, Sanj, to have the backing of your family? And how do you feel about Sahil is doing that? Nameless is out there doing what he's doing. He's making waves.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah, okay. So, backing of a family is very important, okay? Because that helps you take your journey on. You're not fighting with them. Because now, if you're going to be fighting with your family, there's going to be disagreements there. At the same time, you're trying to do your music on the other side. You're not going to be creative enough.
Yeah.
You're just going to be messed up in the head. But with family support, that worry's not there. Then you got their support and their blessings. And family being important in the sense they become your biggest critics as well.
Yeah.
I remember whenever we used to do a remix, even today, when I do some new mixes, I make sure I play it to Vinny, I play it to Sile or whoever, they will listen to it first before I put it out anywhere. And that is very important, because if you didn't have that, you might be relying on other people who might not give you the right yeah. So that is important.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah, you're not fighting with them, so you can be creative.
Yeah, and they tell you the honest.
You fight with them for something else, but not
that. No, I totally agree with you. For me, my family and Kevin's support and my own family as well, and I'm even going to stretch that out to my close friends, my handful of friends that I have on my hand, and they give me the most, honest opinions. That they're my cheerleaders, but at the same time, they're like, what are you doing now? And why does that sound like that? Because they know that not only I could do better, or what you're trying to do, and then they try and understand if I'm trying to, experiment with something. So it's very important to have families backing and like the critique and the stuff. Yeah, and so how did you find when Sahil came up to you like the Nameless, and he said, "Dad, I want to do this now." How did you feel when he said that?
Well, I was proud because I thought, okay, now someone's going to continue where we've left off. It takes on another generation now. I remember when the kids were young, I was giving them ideas. Why don't you start promoting events at your school, etc.? But they weren't interested. They didn't want to know. So I thought, okay. But Sahil had a key for music. I remember the first time I got my first laptop. I mean, the first Apple, which was like 2001 or something, right? And he started messing around with GarageBand on there, right? Which is very basic to use, but it's a good starter, right?
Yeah.
And I still use it as well once in a while. So I mean, he started playing around with that, and I could tell that he's got a ear for this, and he started taking an interest in that. Started doing production, music, and etc., which was at his basic days, early days. But you could tell he's going for the right direction. Then when he graduated, etc., and when he went to uni, he said, "I want to do that." I said, "Yeah, go to uni, do what you have to do. Music will always be there." And which he got lucky, and then he started working with Rishi Rich.
Yes.
And then when Rishi went to India, he gave him, we gave him the studio as well, which is where you recorded. And
the Heights.
Yes,
The Heights, big up to like Sahil for that, Nameless. You guys, you were saying his name, but hey, Nameless for the Heights EP. It had not only myself, but it did actually have Swami Brakas, Navin Kundra, Kirani, and so many of us. And
we've got plans. We've got plans for that actually, because what we're trying to do is, hopefully it takes off. Trying to get some funding for it, but we want to release either an album once a year or twice a year. But this is for new and unheard voices. Give them a platform. So we're trying to do that.
How important is that to like champion new artists, Sanj?
I think it's important because some people don't get a chance. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays it's easier. People can self-release, etc. We've got all the tools available, but still, sometimes creative heads are good at certain things, but they can't do all the other stuff. So this way you'd get a whole package. So it's important. I mean, the more important is that I want to give back. I have had a few people who we've given breaks to before, but I want to do it a bit more regular, where I want to give back and let the next generation take over. I've had my day.
Oh, never, Sanj. We can never get bored. But I know what you mean. To give that.
Everyone's got their own, I've got loads of other plans. I was only going through my catalog the other day, which is unreleased stuff. I don't know. There must be about 90 odd tracks.
We're supposed to collab. We had a track as well, right?
That's one of them. We will get to that. We will get to that.
It's a summer track for sure, guys. And it's great that you say that, Sanj, because that's the whole reason as well why I put together Music Heals, is not only to speak to established artists, but also to speak to up and coming artists. And, when I was reaching out to a few people, they were like, "Me? How come me?" And I'm like, "Well, you like music, don't you? Doesn't it heal you?" Yes, well, then talk about it. Let's talk about it, And even people reaching out to me to and then it took on a fast that people would like to come on Music Heals. And, as much as I can, I champion as much as I can out there. And I think that's so crucial that we do that. And, that's one thing I won't lie. It cheeses me off about our industry, that, constantly we're giving the ones that have got that, the platform. And, there's certain stations that don't support that. And it's a shame, really. But, there's so many other means now that they can put their music out, whether it's like SoundCloud or I don't know, even like Instagram lives and stuff, and there's a whole load of now independent artists because they're now starting to invest in themselves. How
Yes.
important is it, Sanj, to invest in your art and invest in, like, like you spoke about, it took you a long time to put your collection together. I mean, we're talking 5 decades ago. Back then it was kind of hard,
Yeah.
and it was we didn't have things like Spotify, and we didn't have like social media.
No.
Yeah. How do you see the differences now from there? Because you saw it back then, and I saw it back then as well, to what it is now,
Sometimes I find, even though we've got all the tools now, right, and it's a bigger world, it gets harder now because now you're competing with the wide world. So now you've become a small fish in a big sea.
Yeah.
Whereas in those days when we were doing stuff, even though we didn't have the internet, etc., there was a whole distribution network that these guys, these record companies had set up from the 70s onwards, these Asian companies based here, like Multitone, OSA, etc. They had a network. So you remember, there was record shops, CD shops, etc. So
Metro Music, ABC,
they knew that every Thursday, I didn't know this initially, but every Thursday would be a new release, right? This is when Multitone used to tell we used to always release our music on a Thursday because then what their idea was, on a Thursday it goes into the shops and all the regular people who come every week will start coming in, and then it builds up momentum by the weekend.
Okay.
And I still remember our biggest selling was Extra Hot 5, with my brother did the Tino mix, the power mix.
Yeah.
So that came out on Thursday.
Iconic.
By Friday, by Saturday, they had sold out 35,000 copies in 2 days. And then they did the order again. That's how fast it was.
Physical, guys. We're talking physical copies, right?
Yes, yeah.
None of this like downloading thing on your phone and stuff.
So that time it would have been on CD and cassette. And there was hardly any advertising. It was all word of mouth, and it worked. Yeah. Whereas now you're in a bigger sea, you can't do word of mouth.
No, you can't do word of mouth.
Well,
but you see, when you come on as an artist, right, you don't know these things to get business acumen. When I first started out, I kid you not, I couldn't understand why certain people weren't supporting. Then I realized it's a PR company, like they're supporting other people. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't that guy support me or girl or whatever? Then I realized actually they are supporting them because they're the PR company. And then
getting money for it.
And then you say, they paid money for it. Yes. I didn't know. I was so naive. It's just hilarious.
That's all right.
But,
that's how you learn.
That's how you live and learn, isn't it? And that's how important is brand, Sanj? Like to make a mark out there.
Well, branding is important. Everything is branding, isn't it? Because if you don't brand it, then people will forget what you did or what you didn't do. So there has to be some sort of a guideline of a brand. But I don't fuss around it as much as I used to. Maybe it's an age thing now. Before it was, executive this, executive that, I was just going crazy on it. But as time goes by, you mellow out, etc. So branding is important, like you say. But don't take that so seriously. Take your art more serious.
Yeah.
People nowadays, we're living in a social arena, which is good. Youngsters know what to do. But your brand is big enough if your creations are good enough. And that will bump your brand. That's it.
That's great. Wise words there from Sanj. We've got some questions for you, Sanj, now. I hope you're ready. Keevan's asking, oh no, that's the wrong one. Apart from Canada, where have you toured?
God, loads of places. India, Kenya, Spain a lot. I used to go out there quite a lot. That's under Sanj.
What's your favourite place in being?
Can't really. They've all been.
Is there a memorable gig that you had out in the world?
I think that all of them have been fairly memorable. I mean, like the first time we landed in Canada, that was just crazy. It reminded us, we were in Canada, but it reminded us of when we took the daytime scene to Birmingham, how crazy it went there. And Canada was just the same when we went there first time, I think 92, 93, around that time, 92.
Yeah.
At that time, we took Bad Company as well.
Oh.
So we had our rap group as well. We had Kushti in there, we had Amit so they were there. But all of us went together. So amazing 2-3 weeks we were out in Canada. So that will always hold a special memory for me.
Place in your heart. Always.
Kenya, I enjoyed because I was born in Nairobi. So my wish was always to go back to DJ there. So luckily, 2008, I got an opportunity to go there, which I will cherish as well.
That's amazing.
India was always on our hit list. We did, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's always good to know that as well. You know that you were able to accomplish that as well. Thanks, Kicks, for that. Damesh asking, if you were to collaborate with, who would it be and why?
Rita Morar.
You're just saying it.
You're the star at the moment. You got the singles coming out. I've got to collaborate with you.
I just got lucky, son. You know what? Next time I come on, right, I'll be like, I've got nothing to say to you guys. Let's just bring on the guest, you know? I had to get it in.
No, that was good. You gotta do those cheeky plugs. It's good. No, excellent. But
sorry. Who?
Bad Company reunion. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Matt, can you imagine that?
You know?
Everyone with their beer bellies, yes. Beer company.
Yeah, hire out the bar and stuff, you know, and just get the armchairs out. What else? Let's see what else are people saying. There is actually one question we had here.
What's this question, McKeevan? Sorry to interrupt. Was it the Birmingham gig? We got the CD and put
that was you know what we were saying, Nameless's CD, the song that he had done. Can't remember the track, but when I do, I am actually going to put it on the chat so then people know what it is. But it was phenomenal. It was a Birmingham gig that I had with actually Pav Kaur, and I sang for her first dance, and then we got a CD from Sahil. I don't know how we got it from Nameless. It was just amazing. Okay, AJ is asking, hi AJ, thank you for joining. What project are you most proud of?
It's forthcoming.
Ooh, is that an exclusive?
In time. Now, I told you, got about 90 odd songs I have not released, and I think they're the ones I'm going to love. The ones we did back in the day were great, but no, definitely. If I really have to go back in time, I would think the Garma Garam project, the Amitabh ones, and the Asha Bhosle mixes.
Yeah.
They were the projects.
They were amazing.
They were fun doing, actually.
But I do feel that when the time is right and the music is to release, it will happen. You know, you're saying that you've got this collective back, and that maybe just the time hasn't been right, and now the time is going to be right for it to be. You know, it's like not even a now or never situation. It's like you're feeling right. Okay, this is
all the weddings are out of the way now. I'm a free man now, so I will start concentrating on music.
I'm going to have to get you back on air, and then you can plug and stuff.
Yes, people will be surprised though. It's not something they're used to hearing from me though. That's the only thing.
Oh,
we're moving into a completely different genre, so time will tell. I won't say much now. Well,
do let me know. Then it will definitely be plugged in, right, Sam? So no worries at all with that. And you know, that was a question that we had from Jamie as well. That when is Sanj going to release his new mixes? So that was another question. So thank you so much for that.
That's the Bollywood mixes, I think you might be talking about. Yeah. They will be all up on SoundCloud and Mixcloud very soon. Okay.
Amazing. Yes. Great stuff.
All the mixes will be up.
Sanj, before you go, I don't want this to end. It's just been so inspiring to hear from you. You know, as I said, you're a pioneer, and people need to know where, you know, what you have set present for us, you know, like how to move forward. And I can only commend you and Amit for that, you know, so thank you so much for that. And it has to be recognized out there that, yeah, we wouldn't be doing remixes. I mean, you know that I come out with just videos of remixing with an R&B track, you know, because purely it's just this love that I've always had for remixes, and being Asian British as well, British Asian, you say such a term, that, you know, there were the matching and the remixing of two cultures together just showed that it can be done, you know. So I'd just like to thank you for that, and Xzecutive for that. And so we're still listening to it as well. So, you know, it's not being taken away, and there's no sell by dates here. Music is just eternal,
music
and, you know,
music
will always be like there for us and you. If someone was starting out, Sanj, in the industry, what 3 pointers would you give them, and why? And, you know, just this is your chance to give some amazing points to someone that wants to start out as a DJ, or, you know.
I think persistence. Persistence is definitely one of those, because that's when you're starting out, that is most probably the most difficult time as you go along. So you have to persist. Don't get fed up that, oh, I didn't get many likes, or my single didn't do well, etc. Just carry on and keep carving your music. Okay, that has to be there. The next one I would think, which I've done many times and I'm about to do again, like I said with my new songs, reinvention. Be ready to move with the time. If you feel that something's not working or you've done it, you can go on. I mean, I know many people can work with one brand or one genre all their life, but I get bored. So I have to keep reinventing. But reinvent, nothing wrong with reinventing. That'll keep you going on if you're on a longer journey. And I think the last one I would think, just stay humble. Yeah. You have to be humble. There's no room for big heads. But I've learned that from myself, because I remember in the late 80s, 90s, when that was a sort of peak of Xzecutive at that time. My head was up in the clouds, But I've learned that I didn't need to do all that. Yeah. So just stay grounded.
It's just great that you are admitting that as well. That not many people do such a thing, Sanj, and they don't understand that, and from that, growth happens.
Yes. That's right. Yes, definitely, without a doubt. Yeah. So those are my little 3 pointers, without a doubt.
Thank you, Sanj. I hope anyone that's aspiring to be a DJ out there listens to Sanj. You can't. This is a man of wisdom himself. So just take that one. Sanj, what's coming up? So we know what's coming up for you. Anisha saying. In fact, I forgot to even say this. Anisha used to enjoy going to Sanj. In fact, you played at Anisha's wedding, like Zubin's and Anisha's wedding.
Yes. Yeah, hello, Anisha. Yes, I remember you. Yes.
2009. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Annie. And that's where we saw you. I think it was in Ealing. Yeah. And it was an amazing evening, And I know, Sanj, you bring the crowd together. And it was just a beautiful evening, and you played all the right songs. In fact, I performed that night, I think.
Yes, you did.
I sang Hey Shona.
Yes, I remember.
And he wanted me to sing Hey Shona for the first time. Bless them. Big love to you guys. I should have actually sung that today. Sorry, Annie, I didn't think. Cafe Chai, that was the place to be.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yes.
Big love to you, Annie and Zubi. Bring back great memories, along with Sanj as well. Sanj, where can we find you, and where can people follow you for what's coming up for you?
Insta would be the best. So onto Insta, Yep, that's the one. Yeah, Insta would be the best. That's the one you get to know. And then from there you can flow. You'll find out my SoundCloud and Mixcloud pages, but they've not been very busy. Like, I've been very lazy. Mixes will come up at some point. So if you follow Instagram, you'll get the releases on Mixcloud and SoundCloud as well.
I didn't ask you this before you go, actually. I'll ask this. How has the pandemic hit you as a artist and a DJ? Did it slow things down for you musically, or did your priorities change for a bit, like since 2020?
To be honest, it didn't affect me at all. I was still on the radio live rather than recording. I was still doing my shows live. So that side of things didn't. Yes, the club work obviously went away for a year and a half, but it's fine. It's breathing space. We've been through other times. Okay, this was the worst, maybe. We've been through recessions when business was low. So I think I've learned to live with time. If there's no work, you do something else. You nurture your music. You do that. So you keep busy doing other things. And I don't know. I'm one of those who just floats in anything.
That's great.
Nothing phases me in that way.
I mean, when I didn't have gigs, Sanj, I used to get upset that, I haven't had no gig. But now I realise that those downtimes are the most crucial times to move your art forward. Like, for me, learn the piano, write songs, you never know when a lyric is going to happen to you and stuff.
That's it,
That's time. It's time.
It's
great to hear that. It's great to hear and refreshing to hear that, that you still carried on and pursued what you were doing, So, well done for that. But Sanj, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Now. It's been amazing chatting to you. I could be just chatting to you all night, but we're not going to, because people start falling asleep and stuff.
Of course,
and then we'll end up having the whole wine bottle and stuff. Sanj, thank you so much for being part of Music Hills, and I'll catch you soon. And make sure you do come back and let us know when the new music and the reinvention happens. We can't wait. And thank you for sharing that exclusive with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanj.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
So that was Sanj. Wow. I told you guys, I was so stoked, and I still am stoked for having Sanj on. Sanj is a pioneer for our industry, and I will always vouch for that. I grew up to his music. Mads and me grew up to his music, Xzecutive, and they paved the way for all these fusion mixes that you're listening to now, to this day. And we cannot thank you guys enough. And thank you, Sanj, for coming on. If you guys enjoyed Music Heals today, please do like this video. I can see so many comments now. Oh, thank you so much, Jamie. Lots of love. Anisha, amazing night. And Mads is saying, giving us a heart. Thank you guys for joining me today. And remember, I've got so many things coming up just to show you once again. Settle the Score is coming out tomorrow. My collaboration with Apache Indian, John Rogers and AJ. And do follow Sikh Women's Aid.org.uk. And then I've got Gile Zara coming out on Friday. If you enjoyed this, make sure you go and check out musicheals.info, where you can catch past episodes of season 2 when I did come back onto Facebook and YouTube. And then if you want to even dive into it further, come and follow me on Instagram, Rita Morar, where you'll be able to find season 1 in its full, the quality of it and just how raw it was. It was just so beautiful. So thank you so much. Music Heals is back in December. As you know, it's every 2 weeks. So I'm not going to tell you what's going to be happening. Something special is going to be happening in December. But thank you so much for being there for me tonight. It's been so beautiful to speak to Sanj, and thank you for joining me, whether it was on YouTube or Facebook or even listening to the podcast. It's just been wonderful. Keep pushing music, keep pushing the artists that you love out there, and keep giving that support, because without your support, we are nothing. All right, I'm signing off now, guys. Take care, and I'll catch you in 2 weeks. Something special is coming. Bye.